the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, half of this cabinet, are actually young noble leaders of the world economic forum. We penetrate the cabinets.
The change is not just happening. The change can be shaped by us. We have to prepare for a more angry world. How to prepare? Take the necessary action to create a fairer world. I see the need for a great reset.
So people assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had and everything will be normal again. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen. The next crisis is already waiting for us around the corner, and it is the climate crisis.
Before we get into this video, I want to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, backupsolarbank.com. What you got here is a beefy backup power bank that can be powered by the sun and through a regular wall outlet. It has a built-in LED flashlight and SOS strobe light features that can be seen far away, a high battery capacity of 20,000 milliamp hours, wireless charging that automatically recognizes most devices, and it has a bi-directional fast charging Type-C port, USB port, and a USB QC 3.0 fast charging output port, which can charge 3 devices at the same time. Do yourself a favor and grab a couple of them for you and your friends. My discount link is in the description below. There's this interesting website that I saw circulating around on Twitter today. It's called shadowban.yuzurisa.com. Yuzurisa. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But I put the link in the chat room right there. You can find out if you're shadow banned on Twitter. So if you put in High Impact Flicks, is High Impact Flicks. I've been wondering, it's like, how can I increase in, how many do I have? Like, it's like 41,000 followers. How can I put out a tweet and only get like 20 likes and 2 shares? It's weird. So you go Impact Flicks, you hit the checkbox, and then lo and behold, there's a ghost ban. Huh, what's a ghost ban? This is what is referred to as conventional shadow ban or thread banning as well. It comprises a search ban while threads are completely ripped apart by hiding reply tweets of the affected users to others. Everything will look perfectly normal to the affected user, but many others will not be able to see replies, tweets of the affected user at all. Reasons for this ban include behavior like excessive tweeting or following. Again, this type of ban seems to be temporarily limited for active accounts. So if there's a ghost ban and you put things out and you got 40,000 followers, maybe only 40 or 400 will see it. And there's a lot of people ghost ban. I'm not sitting here crying going, oh, look at me. I'm relegated to an extra special category where they're holding me down. Look, it's so unfair. There's a lot of people going through this right here. So put your own Twitter handle in there or people that you follow and see if they got a ghost ban on them. Earlier today, this was no reply boosting detected. This was actually checked as well. This was red. Today it's green. So it's pretty interesting. And that's called shadowban.yuzurisa.com and then / whatever you want to take a look at to see if you're shadow banned. Shadow banning is pretty insidious. That's insidious censorship because the person who's getting banned doesn't really know he's banned. I mean, he might suspect, but he can't really prove it because he can't lift up the layers and see what the algorithms are and where they're shoving all of his followers to. You know, when people follow you, they're following you because they want to see your content. When people go out of their way to click that button and then on YouTube, when they hit the bell notification icon, they not only want to subscribe to you, but they want to be alerted when you upload new content. So the shadow banning thing is completely disingenuous. It's not right. It's a relationship you have built with your followers and they're getting in between that relationship and they're going, you know what? Nah, I know you sent out this to 41,000 people who want to see your stuff, but we're only going to let 400 people see it. I wanted to play this for you today. This guy says a lot with a few words and just, like 2 minutes. I'm going to tell you what he says, and then I'm going to play what he says. When the government knows everything about you, where you go, what you eat, where you enter, that's a tyrannical system. And we've seen the system being implemented right now. He's calling it the China-fication of Europe.
Clearly, we are witnessing right now the China-fication of Europe, because we see what is happening in China right now with the social credit score, where the government is monitoring and surveilling all the people from the beginning to end. Everything that they do, everything, everywhere where they walk, they control everything and they watch everything. This is the example.
Now, when he says everything in this social credit system, he means everything. I mean, you have something in your phone. A lot of people, if you have a smartphone, you have an accelerometer. The accelerometer, you can tap into the a pedometer app, where you can get an app and it meters how much you walked, you can hook into your watch and what your heart rate is. When he says everything, he means everything. And when Klaus Schwab said the other day, hey, in 10 years, you'll all have an implanted chip in your brain.
Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, and we measure your brain waves, and I can immediately tell you how the people react, or I can feel how the people react to your answers. Is it imaginable?
They want to monitor everything. How many times does this guy breathe? What is he looking at on his phone? How many times does his heart beat? What are the cortisol levels? See, I don't know what they can exactly look at. But they see what you're looking at, and then they form little algorithms so that they can give you, little ads so that you'd be more apt to succumb to that ad and buy that product. I've seen so many people in the last year or so say, you know what, me and my girlfriend were at the store and we were talking about peanut butter or a brand of diapers. Go home, and because the phone heard you, they put an ad for peanut butter or diapers. It's a really, really strange thing. And if you haven't watched there's a Netflix documentary on Facebook, and there's a lot of misinformation that Netflix thing brings out. But all in all, they did a pretty good job showing how Facebook capitalizes on giving you a little dopamine hit when you hit that like button, and then you go back and you visit your page and you see how many people liked, how many people shared, what their comments were, and they're giving you that little dopamine hit as little breadcrumbs to kind of lead you along so that they can start predicting what you're going to do in the future with incredible accuracy. So when he says this social credit system is going to basically monitor and surveil everything you do, everywhere you go, what you spend, why you spend it, what your spending habits are, who you're hanging out with, how fast you drive. These things got GPSs. They know if you're in a vehicle driving. They know if you've taken the subway. They know what your location is. So they're going to hook this into a social credit system, and if you go where they think you shouldn't have gone, or you said something they think you shouldn't have said, well, that's going to be reflected on your social credit score, just like it's happening in China. And this is what they want to institute in Europe, in Canada, in the United States, in New Zealand.
Example of a tyranny, when the government knows everything about you, where you go, what you eat, where you enter. That's the tyrannical system. And we've seen this system being implemented right now under the leadership of Ursula von der Leyen, slowly but surely in the European Union. The green certificate was just the first step. There are a few more proposals right now under debate in the parliament. The European wallet ID, for example, the European social security card. All these things that are creating a system that will monitor, control, supervise, and condition the rights of all the European citizens. Just yesterday, before yesterday actually, on Monday.
Monitor, control, supervise, and condition. That's what they're doing. They're conditioning, they're tenderizing, they're programming the masses to do what they want the masses to do. It's total control. And if we go to a CBDC, a central bank digital currency, and get rid of all fiat, yes, fiat's bad. I'm not backing fiat, but at least there's a measure of autonomy. It's like when you go to a yard sale or you do a private party sale and they're not involved in your business. If we go to all central bank digital currency, your freedom is gone. Oh, you didn't want to pay that, that tax bill or whatever? Don't worry. We just took it out. We just took it out for you. Oh, we're gonna severely limit. Not only that, if they don't believe that you're doing the way you should be doing and that you may be jeopardizing society, they'll limit what you can use that digital currency to buy. And maybe one day they'll limit the fact that you can buy food. Oh, we don't want this guy to buy any food. This guy's done.
In the plenary, we had the Commissioner for Work. And he said, well, we need the European Social Security card number, pass, as he called it, certificate, to facilitate the freedom of movement. You know, we heard this before with the green certificate. So they use, this is the same narrative.
We're going to control you so we can facilitate your freedom. That is the constant drumbeat and mantra of government. The reason we're doing this is for your safety, for your security, and for your liberty. Now you got to give us a little bit of that liberty. And Benjamin Franklin said, and I completely agree with him, I don't care what context it was in, it's just a standalone statement. If you give up a little essential liberty for temporarily politically promised security, you deserve neither liberty nor security.
And I invite you guys as journalists, just watch what they say and what they do. Because there's 180-degree difference from what they say and what they promise and what they are committing to in front of the plenary and what the end result is. When the green certificate was implemented, again, the commissioner said on record that this is to facilitate the freedom of movement, and that's it. Even in the case that someone does not have this green certificate, the regulation allows you to freely travel from one country to another. The problem is when you arrive in a certain country, you will have to follow certain medical restrictions, you know, like quarantine and others. So from what we was told back then in April and May, look where we are right now. So I'm glad that you asked this question, and I invite all the journalists from Europe and from the world to see what is happening here, because we should not allow this. We should not forget that the European Union was created in a total opposition of the Soviet Union.
Somebody just dropped this, and this is good because this is pertinent to what this guy's talking about right here. Somebody dropped this in the live stream. Says the EU has introduced a new digital ID. And then it says, here's what it means for you. The European Commission wants to develop an app that would contain the digital version of your identity card. It says the European Commission on Thursday unveiled, and this is from June 3rd, 2021. Can you imagine how advanced they are now? Where they are in this scheme, unveils a plan to introduce a block-wide digital ID. If approved, the plan would allow people to use an app to prove their identity online, whether that's to verify their age or to check their driver's license. Kind of prove your humanity, like Elon Musk was saying the other day. You know, how much information are you going to have to divulge to prove your humanity in that scheme? The EU plans to start testing the app, which it calls the Wallet, on October 2022. When it hopes it will have the basis of an agreement across member countries. And so what they want to do is they want to make this a digital global thing, a global digital ID system that's going to work no matter where you are. Hand in hand with the globalists who want to control everything. They want to control what you think, where you go, how much you spend, where you spend, if you're going to spend it. That's total control, guys. And that's what the oligarchs want. That's the plan. But you're a conspiracy theorist if you bring it up. If you just read these headlines that actually it's funneling you toward the global world economy. It's funneling you toward the Great Reset. It's siphoning you, and it's prodding you toward the fourth industrial revolution, that you'll own nothing and be happy, the merging biology with technology. That's where this is going. Merging biology with technology. Think about it. Klaus Schwab actually said, in 10 years, you'll all have brain implants. Every one of you.
Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, and we measure your brain waves, and I can immediately tell you how the people react, or I can feel
how the people react to your answers. Is it imaginable?
Guys, we already know that they want to decimate the dollar, destroy the economy, bring us into a cashless society, and eventually make it difficult for us to even get food. That's why I constantly promote My Patriot Supply. Every chance I get, I turn my fiat currency notes into long-term storable food. This stuff is awesome. It's got a 25-year shelf life. And one thing we're all gonna need is storable food. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. With my link in the description, you get $100 off of every order instantly. It'd be a good idea to order it while you can, because I'm not sure how much longer they're gonna be able to ship this out. My link for your $100 off discount is in the description below.